What's going on, guys? Soldier Only here from Sports Nerd Web with this week's episode of Sports Nerd Web Weekly for January 17th, 2017. First things first, Iron Banner for Destiny kicked off today, and the match type is Clash, as I said in this week's Destiny Unplugged, as well as the weapons that Everdeen has for sale is the Iron Banner rocket launcher and the Iron Banner sidearm, which I'm gonna dive in and start grinding towards because the sidearm is the only one that I haven't got. I haven't started playing yet tonight though, so I am gonna record some footage, so there will be some gameplay coming to the channel soon. They also rolled out Hotfix update 2.5.0.1 along with Iron Banner. Update 2.5.0.1 fixes a number of problems, including one where items required to complete patrol activities in the Plague Lands did not drop as intended. The update also clears out a problem where some of Xur's curios were not available to buy, including the 3 of coins. The last few weekends when Xur have been all out of whack pretty much. There was a couple weeks in a row there where he showed up without 3 of coins, and then it was about like the third week when he showed up. He had 3 coins, but then he didn't have the glass needles, so you weren't able to re-roll certain exotics and stuff. So, but as I said, I haven't dove into Destiny yet since Iron Banner and this update went live. So, we'll have to see this weekend to see if Xur's stuff is if his curios and everything that he brings is all straightened out now. So it should be. And as some of the other patch notes with update 2.5.0.1, they fixed an issue where the items required to complete the Plague Land patrols were not dropping. They fixed an issue that prevented some players from purchasing SRL Momentum gear from the Holiday Collection. Fixed an issue with the Snowdrake and Fellwinter souvenir consumables not covering to Postmaster. Fixed an issue where not all Xur's curios were being sold, including 3 coins. I mentioned that. And then for the Crucible, they added invisible physics and kill volumes to stop players from getting out of the intended playable space on, it looks like pretty much every map here. The Burning Shrine, Cathedral of Dusk, Cauldron, Drifter, Dungeons, Exodus Blue, Floating Gardens, Frontier, Memento, Skyline Timekeeper, and Vertigo. And then as for the sandbox, the community has desperately been clamoring for the next weapon patch and update, and we haven't gotten that yet. But with this update, they did fix an issue with the recoil stat on the Abaddon and the Nova Mortis, the 2 new versions of the exotic Thunderlord that were rolled out with the Winter Dawning event. I have both of them. I was able to get both of them, and I like having them for Nightfalls and Heroic Strikes and stuff like that when there's Solar or Void Burn on the stuff. So yeah, I'm stoked to be diving into Iron Banner for this month though. I'm glad that it's Clash. Last month it was Rift, which I'm not a big fan of Rift. I did play it somewhat. I don't think I even maxed out one of my characters though. I main a hunter, and I think I got my hunter to like level 3 or 4. And I think I did play my warlock, but I think I only got him a couple levels in. I've only been playing Banner I've only done about 3 Iron Banner events, or maybe 2. I think this will be my 3rd one. But yeah, I've only done a few of them, and one of the times I did max out all 3 characters. I think that was when it was actually Supremacy. I think it was one of the first ones. But yeah, I'm glad that it's Clash, where it's just just a straight up shooter PvP. So I'm stoked to get into it. Another thing I kind of want to talk about is the content drought that's going on in Destiny, and what some of the members of the community are doing, to kind of make things fresh. There's some people that are doing the perma-destiny the permadestiny runs, where you create a new account on your console, and you create a new character and you play through until you die, and then once you die, you have to delete the character and start over again. And it's really interesting. It's fun to watch. I've watched a few streamers do it. Some of them even made it maxed out to level 40, and the main goal is to kind of just see how see if you can get maxed out, and the main goal is to see who can get the most exotics in the long run. I haven't really heard how far some people have made it. I Since I recently started on PS4 as well, when I created my Warlock and my Titan for the PS4, I've kind of been doing a permadestiny run. I haven't died on either of them yet, but I take that back. I did die the other night on my Titan, but I haven't died on the Warlock yet. I can't remember what level she's at, but obviously, since they're going to be my characters anyways, once I do die on them, I'm not going to delete them, but it's just kind of fun to see, how far I can make it without dying on it. So, and then the one other thing I wanted to talk real quick on the video game front, this is really interesting because I just noticed it online before I sat down to record. Gearbox's Randy Pitchford said that Borderlands 3 will not be coming to the Nintendo Switch. This is kind of interesting because Borderlands 3 hasn't officially been announced, so with him saying that it's not going to be on Nintendo Switch, is it kind of a weird way of him, kind of confirming, that it does. I mean, it's really no secret, obviously Borderlands 3 is going to be coming eventually, it's kind of really no secret, that there will be one. Which I'm stoked for. I mean, I finally just recently got into the Borderlands series. I'm actually playing Borderlands 2 right now. I'm also gonna. There's also gonna be some Borderlands content coming to the channel really soon as well. Definitely, especially I need to do a full review video and stuff. From my perspective. Granted, the game's been out for a while. As you know, since I was out of playing video games for quite a while, on the Sports Nerd Web blog, there was quite a few articles I did when I was doing a series of Better Late Than Never articles, where I was diving into games or series for the first time, and ones that had probably been out for a while, or series that were really, that are really well known and really acclaimed that I hadn't gotten into yet. And Borderlands is definitely one of those, because it's a phenomenal series, and I've only played Borderlands 2. I haven't played the first ones yet, so I've only been playing the second one because I got the Handsome Collection that came with Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel and all that. So, and in sports news, the NFL postseason has been heating up. The Atlanta Falcons was able to beat Seattle, and as you know, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, and Fuchsia Only's Green Bay Packers were able to beat Dallas. So this coming weekend is our first divorce bowl, so to speak. Her Packers play my Falcons, and the winner will go to the Super Bowl. And my Falcons have unfinished business against Green Bay because a few years back, it was the year Green Bay won the Super Bowl. Atlanta went, it was either 14-2 or 13-3 that year. I remember, regardless, Atlanta, I know for a fact they were the number one NFC seed. They were the number one seed in the NFC that year. And here comes wildcard Green Bay. Took them out in the first round. Well, in the second round technically, because Atlanta had the first round bye being the first seed in the NFC. So, but first game for Atlanta. Wildcard Green Bay takes them out. And I'm like, oh God, you guys better win the Super Bowl for doing that. And good for them, eventually they did. So, Atlanta definitely has some unfinished business with them. I hope that they pull it off, because Atlanta looked really good this year. Atlanta has always had a really good offense. It's our defense that has just been awful for the last few years. And our defense actually showed up this last weekend against Seattle. Our defense came up big in quite a few plays. I mean, we even got a safety on Russell Wilson. That was pretty interesting to see. So I was stoked on that. Now, as for Green Bay, the Green Bay Dallas game was a phenomenal game. I only really watched like the last few minutes of it, but that was the best minutes of it for sure. It came down to just a couple field goals back and forth in the last few minutes, and Green Bay ended up hitting one as time expired to win. And Dallas tried icing make Crosby. Yeah, Crosby is Green Bay's kicker. Yeah, they tried icing him, so technically he had to hit two. It was 53 or 54 yarder, I think. He had to hit two of them, and the one that he hit with a couple minutes earlier to tie the game was actually, I think, from 56. So in just a span of a few minutes, technically he hit over 50-yard field goals, clutch ones too, to win. So I mean, it was a damn good game. So, and you can never really count Green Bay out especially in the postseason. I mean, Green Bay is very lucky, I think, to even get into the postseason this year. The way their season was looking, I didn't think they were going to get in. I definitely didn't expect them to win their division. I mean, it was looking pretty bad for them for most of the year. So, but you cannot count them out in the postseason. I mean, obviously, their accomplishments and stuff that they've done in the past definitely speaks for it. So, they definitely are a team that Atlanta has to take seriously, and I'm sure they will. One interesting note that I actually heard in the morning the other day: Aaron Rodgers against Dan Quinn, who is Atlanta Falcons head coach now. He used to be the defensive coordinator in Seattle. Aaron Rodgers against Dan Quinn is actually 0-3. Aaron Rodgers hasn't won a game against Dan Quinn, whether he's the head coach or the defensive coordinator. So that's actually an interesting number, and especially with Aaron Rodgers being a quarterback and Dan Quinn being a former defensive coordinator, he's obviously a defensive-minded coach. So I can't wait for this weekend. This is going to be it's going to be an awesome game. So stay tuned to the channel for more on this special game for us coming up. Probably next, probably on our podcast, actually, on the weekend, since we record it on Sunday. So I'm sure we'll talk about it there, and also probably in sports in next week's episode of Sports Nerd Web Weekly. But that's gonna do it for this week. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give that thumbs up. You can follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with everything on the channel at SportsNerd48. I'm going to be back up streaming really soon again on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/soldieronly. And we will see you next week. Cheers.